the United States is definitely profoundly founded on this idea of white supremacy. There's no two ways about it. It had to be, because how else could you justify in your mind, I'm going to take this land from these Native Americans, and then I'm going to bring slaves over and I'm going to steal their labor. There's no way to justify that other than God really loves me and he doesn't really like those folk as much. And as a result, it's okay for me to exploit them. Okay, so the idea of white supremacy has a really fascinating origin. It actually starts in Spain. So the Reconquista, which is a poorly named event, the Reconquest, how can you reconquer something when you never owned it to begin with? So the idea is that the northern Christian kingdoms in the Iberian Peninsula are going to conquer from the Muslims the rest of the Iberian Peninsula, and then eventually Portugal and Spain are created out of that. And they called it the Reconquista as if they had owned it at one point. But they didn't. This is a different people now, because the population of people that the Arabs conquered when they conquered the Iberian Peninsula, it was German-ruled Iberia. It was Visigoths that were ruling it. And before them, the Vandals had ruled the south. That's where Andalusia comes from, because there's no va in Arabic. They just dropped the sound. And then before that, it was the Roman Empire. And in other words, this idea of Spain was really created in 1492 by Queen Isabella. Right? She's the person who creates Spain. The Roman province was called Hispania, and that's where España, the name, comes from.
Makes sense.
But Isabella, the Queen of Castile and Leon, is the person who created Spain. She said, there will be a Spain, and boom, there it was. She was that powerful. She was an absolute monarch who was a visionary and literally created a country and changed the way the world thought about that place, and in the process created an empire that spanned, they owned the Philippines, they owned North and South America, and then eventually she had married so heavily into the Holy Roman Empire that they owned Germany and Italy and Portugal. I mean, they had colonies in Africa and India. You're like, how did you do this?